What is up, everybody? It is redraft season. Coming up here real close. We've got a special guest tonight. Big Baller Fantasy in the building. What's up, Baller?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. How's everything on your end?
Going pretty good here. Pretty good.
Uh, have you finished all of your fantasy drafts yet, or do you have some
Majority of
coming up?
them, I've just got one or two left, and that's it.
Okay, one or two left. I got you.
Yeah.
I I've got one left, and I'm trying to do another dynasty, so I possibly might have two left.
hmm
I'm just having trouble filling up the dynasty one right now, so it's tough. But one more redraft,
Yeah.
and hopefully one more dynasty.
Nice.
Um, typically, like, how many leagues do you play in typically every year?
I try not to get over 10 leagues, but
Okay.
lots of people ask me, and it kind of gets away from me a little bit.
I know. I'm the same way. So last year I did 10 leagues
hmm
including Dynasty and Redraft, together.
hmm
And I think this year I'm at like 13, maybe 14.
Yeah. Shoot, last
um
year I was in 28 leagues. That was just too many, man. That sucked.
28?
Yeah, that was just too
Oh,
many,
Jesus.
man.
Well, you've got
That
to get something. I think like I don't know who it might be Fantasy Pros or one of these websites has like a team builder thing that helps you set your lineups and everything for all of your
hmm
leagues, like, and it's like an
Ooh.
easy way or something. I can't remember what it was, and I don't know if it was Fantasy Pros. It was somebody was talking about
Hmm.
it, and I totally forgot. But it seemed like, if you're going to play in over 15, 20 plus leagues, that might be a good idea, kind of like optimally set your lineup for you and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm gonna have to look into that. Thank you.
Kev, what's up, Kevin? One more redraft for you. Okay. And when is that coming up? And is that like a one QB? Is that a super flex? Um, I think I'm in like three redraft super flexes. The rest are all one QB, which is probably like three, like three
hmm
and three. I think I'm at for redraft, and then the rest is dynasty. I think I'm at like eight or something like that.
You don't see many super flex redraft leagues nowadays.
You don't. You
No.
don't. You don't. Yeah. Diaz, what up, Diaz?
What's that?
Kevin said Sunday Superflex Work League. Okay. Okay. Work leagues are fun. Kind of like your home leagues where like crazy shit happens. Like
Yeah.
I
You
mean, I
get
did a
guys.
home league. I had a home league the other night, and we were actually doing it live, me and Hammer. And guy took Justin Tucker in like the seventh. And it's like
Come on, man.
come on. I mean, I should probably just eliminate kicker and defense
Yeah.
from redraft as well, because a lot more now, especially in dynasty, it's just offense only, unless you get into the IDP. So in some of hustlers leagues, 420 fantasy hustlers, so we have a show on his channel once a week, and his
hmm
leagues are IDP, so it's start 10 on offense, super flex, and then it's start 9 on defense.
Whew.
So yeah, it's big.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's big.
I'm sure that
It's
bench is massive too.
yeah, the bench is like insane. I mean, the draft was like 55, 56 rounds. It was
Ooh.
fucking nuts.
Ooh.
I'm
That's
like
wild.
picking guys I never fucking heard of. Just okay, give me this defensive guy.
Let's see
I
how it
mean,
goes.
you're talking about like, I mean, I took every running back possible. I mean, they're the only people on the waiver wires at running back are just not on a team at
Yeah.
all, which is crazy.
That's funny.
Diaz said Mims or 25 first, 12 team Superflex, start 10 PPR, 1.5 premium. Oh, give me the first.
I think so too. The way
Give me the,
I look at these, sorry, what was that?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, the way I kind of look at these straight up pick for player trades is how easy will it be to get an equal or greater value out of that pick? Like, will I be able to get someone who's better than this player at that pick? And I think it's very easily. I think it's very realistic that you get someone better than Mims with that 25 first, even if it's late or early or mid or whatever. I think it's
Hmm.
pretty. it'll be pretty easy to get someone better than Mims with the first.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's not even about the player really that you can get with the 25 first at that point in time. It's just about the asset that you have, the flexibility that you're going to have to do what you want with that pick,
Yeah,
right? You can move that pick, so you have, a lot of leverage, I guess, with that pick, right? And we don't know if that's going to be an early, mid, or whatever pick. It's a 25 first.
yeah.
So I don't know, Diaz, how is that team? How is that team looking? And another kind of good thing to do, especially when you are like selling running backs for first, like if you can't get the 24 first, the 25 first is fine, especially if you're selling like an old running back like Henry or something like that. Like, who knows if they're still playing in 2025, right? That team might not be good
Yeah,
at that point.
yeah,
Maybe it's a high pick, right? So just like little things always to kind of look at. But yeah, I'll take the first. I know it's a 25, it's not a 24, so that sucks. You got to wait a whole year, but
yeah.
I think at that time it'll be worth it because I mean, realistically, I mean, obviously Mims has a chance to do something with all the injuries and everything that's happening, but is he ever going to be worth an actual first round pick? That's the tough
Probably not.
part, right?
Yeah,
So fuck yeah, give me it now. Let me take it now.
yeah.
Take advantage.
So I see
Kevin
a
said,
question.
God,
So I see a question we got on here. Did you see the Packers are interested in GT? My
yep.
question is why? They've got Dylan. They've got Aaron Jones. They
They don't
don't
they don't
need
care
him.
about that because Dylan and Aaron Jones is just the right now. They don't have a future there, right? What's his name is done next year, Dylan, and I think this is Aaron Jones's last year as well.
Hmm. Oh, that's a good point.
Let me look at Aaron Jones's. I know Dylan. It's a contract year, so he's a free agent next year unless they re-sign him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, Aaron Jones has got one more year, so he's got 2024 he could play. There is an
Yeah.
out in 2023, but obviously they didn't take that. It looks
Yeah.
like so. Looks like he'll be there at least for another year, and that doesn't mean he'll even stay there. I mean, they could cut him, they could trade him, they could do something with him. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you can get a generational, I don't want, maybe not generational, but an awesome, great running back like Jonathan Taylor, then yeah, I mean, absolutely. Apparently, they offered. I heard they offered Dylan and a third for JT, and the Colts asked back for Dylan, Christian Watson, and a first.
That's a little too much. That's just a little too much.
So
I mean,
yeah, I mean, Israel's just fucking around. Israel's playing games and he's trying to
yeah,
get absolutely the most that he fucking can. And he's
yeah,
just being a dick about it. He knows that nobody's giving that up because apparently Miami offered I don't know if they offered a third or a fourth or something like that. And apparently he asked for Jalen Waddle and like a first back or something. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I know for a fact Jalen Waddle was involved in it.
yeah,
Um
yeah. Like Waddle by himself is arguably more of a valuable player than Jonathan Taylor in real life. With the
mhm,
first two, it's like, what are you trying to do there?
right? One Nation, what up? 12 team super flex PPR IDP. Okay. And Mike Williams and a 2024 mid first enough for Ridley. Trying to move on from Williams.
So the thing about Ridley is he's getting up there in age. I think he's almost like 30 years old.
Hmm.
Although wide receivers can play for a bit longer, it makes you question like how much longer can he be an elite player? Mike Williams, I don't really like him. I think he's getting up there in age too. He's always been inconsistent, and there's first round receiver Quentin Johnson there too. So I
Hmm.
don't think Mike Williams will be much of a huge factor going forward. So we got two older players. I think Ridley is much better than Williams at this point. So the main question is the first pretty much is the mid first enough for Ridley? Um, and at this point, at Ridley's age, I'd say so.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I,
it's
I
it's
think so.
definitely enough. It's definitely enough for Ridley. But I think the
Mhm.
real question is if you're saying it's a mid first, is that your first, right? What does your team look like right now? Because Ridley is going to help you win now. But if that 2024 first is yours and you're saying it's a mid, even with you getting Calvin Ridley, that is not, I don't think that's worth it. I don't want Calvin Ridley in that instance. If I'm only a mid team and he's not taking me over the top, and I'm still mid after getting Ridley. So I think we probably just need a little more. Give me a little more information on that. One Nation.
So what you're saying is, how to explain this? If Ridley isn't enough to put you in like a championship contender, if he's not enough to immediately put you as like, hey, you're easily gonna be able to compete for this top spot right away. Giving up that valuable asset down the road isn't gonna be worth it.
Yeah, because if I know that I'm only a mid team and if that 2024 first is One Nations, then I don't want really if I'm just a mid team. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to waste that pick on a mid guy. Can you use that mid first and Mike Williams to get somebody else? Um, you know, can we get one of these young guys? I don't know if Drake London, maybe you might have to add more depending
Yeah.
on that person's team, but
Mm-hmm.
can we get somebody else? I'm okay with even like a DK. I don't know if I'd spend the first. Maybe you could, work something else out, but can you go out and get a DK or somebody like that?
See, every time I'm on here with you, I learn something. Cause the way you mentioned with like looking ahead, saying, "Hey, is this move going to be worth it? Giving up this valuable pick?" I didn't really think about that. Think about it like that. And last time when you mentioned like stacking up on running backs and redraft and your bench and all that is better than tight ends, wide receivers, and all that, I learned some everything I every time that I talk to you, and I appreciate that.
Good, good. Appreciate you, Waller. But yeah, Ridley is on the Supernova 12. Don't Ridley's on the Supernova 12, Diaz. Yes, absolutely. I love Ridley. But yeah, I mean, do you think they should spend their first if it's their first and if it's a mid first, do you think that that's worth it to go and get Ridley if it's not taking you over the top?
I
That's
don't.
really the only thing that I'm looking at because he
Yeah,
said mid first, but
yeah. If this was, if they were able to give up a low first for Ridley, would you take it then?
what is that?
It, if they were able to finagle it where they were giving a late first for Ridley, would you take it then, or was
Yeah, I'll
that
give
kind
up
of
a
a
late
pinch
for
you do?
I'm okay with giving up a late first, but still, if I'm still gonna give that up, I want it to take me to a place where I have a chance to win. But if I'm just in the middle of the pack, that's where like I don't want to give up my first if I'm just a middle of the pack team.
Right, right.
That's the issue that I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So we got a couple more questions here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zach Moss or 24 third. I well, I don't know.
Give me the pick. Give
Um,
me the pick. Give me the pick. I don't. Who
yeah,
cares about Zach Moss? Give me the pick because you can use
yeah,
that when you need to down the stretch. I don't think you'll ever get a second or anything more than a third for him. He's probably a guy that you picked up off the waiver anyway, so it's a W. It's a small W, but it's a W.
right.
You
Because
know,
even though a third probably won't end up being much anyway, we know for a fact Zach Moss isn't going to be much of anything anyway. So
Mhm.
give you the chance of, hey, maybe this will turn out versus, oh, he's really not going to be much of. We know he's not going to be much of anything. Is that
I
what
mean,
you're getting at?
You got Deion Jackson, you have whatever running back they bring in. I mean, if they bring somebody in, there's still Fournette's still out there or somebody else or Hunt. I know so. Irish Massive. Tell Irish Massive to accept that trade I sent then. Yeah, Irish. Wait, so
If
wait,
they
you
say
you
stuff like
want?
that, if they say stuff like that, you know it's going to be a bogus trade. You just know it.
Uh, no, late thirds are not. It's not that it means a lot. It's not that you're gonna draft a player there that's gonna turn into some wide receiver one or RB1 or anything. It's just about the asset. It's just about just getting the pick. I mean, because what is Zach Moss ever gonna do for you? He's gonna sit on your bench. You're never gonna play him. I mean, so you might as well just get something out of it. And that third you can use as the cherry on top in a trade with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or if you need to buy somebody during the season. So,
So
that's really what it's for.
yeah.
And if
Off the
Zach
top of
Moss
your head,
ever does give you some kind of spot start where he's the starter and he's going to get the majority of touches, then you could go spend the third and buy him back if you want.
yeah. Do you know off the top of your head over the last few years which players kind of have been third round picks more or less? Who've
What
been
happened?
third
I'm
round
sorry.
picks and then have turned out to be pretty good?
Say that again. What is it?
Do you know off the top of your head over the last few years who've been third round picks in rookie drafts, but it looks like they're going to end up being better than that draft capital?
Amon-Ra St. Brown went really late. I forgot really where he went, but he was a guy that wasn't picked early in drafts at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to actually research and really
Yeah.
look. But
Yeah.
typically it's a very, very low hit percentage. I
Yeah.
mean, I did the math. I don't know if I have it here. Yeah, I did the math here on like wide receiver first round wide receiver hits. So if they were picked in the first round of the NFL draft from
Mm-hmm.
2012 to 2021 and some of 2022 because Wilson and Olave hit the mark. How
Mm-hmm.
many of those guys had at least one top 24 season? And that turned out to be 70%.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
So that just goes to show you, what if you're picked in the first round of the NFL draft, there is a very high chance that you are going to be, a good player in the NFL or at least produce one, top
Mm-hmm.
24 season. So
Right. Right.
yeah, Diaz, that's what I'm saying. You could use it for a spot start later if you want. I
Yeah.
just I don't know.
Nice. Nice.
Posting subscriber league drama on the cast.
Of course, always drama, man.
Gibson, yeah, Diggs was late too. That's right. Diggs was late too because he was a late pick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Antonio Gibson, yeah.
Pacheco, Lindsey, James Robinson, I assume, in the fourth rounds or waivers. Yeah, those are pretty good values. Even though Lindsey and Robinson kind of fell off the face of the planet, they
Mhm.
did get 1 or 2 seasons of decent value.
Well, that's the other part of not getting the draft capital. That even though they were really good, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know,
They just get phased out.
doesn't
Um,
matter. So
so it looks like we're getting set in a couple teams here. Quarterback,
yeah.
Dak, Goff, Richardson. Wide receiver, Adams, Wilson, Godwin, Judy, Williams. Running back, TMC, Jacobs, Montgomery, Caleb Herbert. I see things like that and immediately think, hey, it's a smaller size league, but that doesn't mean it's a worse team by any means.
Oh, this was
I
the Dynasty one, right?
This is I'm not sure how big.
Yeah. This is the one. This is the Superflex PPR IDB 12 team. The
Oh
one with
yeah,
Mike Williams and the first for Ridley.
right. That's a really solid team. I like a lot of those guys there.
Okay. Yeah. And in One Nation, was that your first?
Hmm.
Or is that someone else's first?
Hmm.
It's not my first. It's the first I had acquired from a trade. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
And do you feel that you are one of the top teams? That would be an important part. Like, do you feel you have a chance to win it? I'm not sure how old the league is or what the other teams look like. So, yeah, DS said he got those guys. Yeah. But I'm talking like top, like, top wide receivers, top running backs. All right, yes, we saw that. Itty bitty South City. What's up, man? Appreciate you. Uh, half PPR. What's
Ooh,
4/14? I don't know what that means, but okay.
no.
Let's try and figure this out. Gino,
Okay.
Chase, Devonta, DJ Moore, Dotson, Elijah Moore, Najee Akers, Hall, Dion, and Hunt, Ferguson, Dulcich. Any thoughts on any upgrade? I'll let you take this one, Bola.
Okay, so I would definitely see about upgrading that tight end room because I think I've been reading some reports that Dolchich has been just kind of overshadowed and overtaken by Adam Trotman recently. on the Broncos. I've been reading that up. And a tight end committee almost never produces at all for either of them. Ferguson, he's talented, but it's like, will he ever produce much anything? So overall, I would definitely see about getting a tight end upgrade. And I would also see about getting some more. Let's see, that's Brees Hall actually, so it's actually not a bad running back room. Um, Pretty good. I would see about maybe getting a quarterback upgrade too. I mean, Geno's not a bad guy at all. I think he was like a top 5 guy last year. Maybe not top 5, but he was up there. But there could always be someone with, because he's only had one really good season in his career. The entire rest of his career, he's been a backup. So it makes the question like, hey, will he fall off, return to his previous whatever, or is he all of a sudden good now? But there's always room for an upgrade if you've got someone like Geno. You get someone like Tua, who I think has ample upside, or you could get someone like Trevor Lawrence, who has a lot of upside too, but won't have that hefty price tag like Justin Fields were, for instance. So with this team, I might see if you could get some more running back depth because there's a lot of risk in there besides Najee. I'd see if you can maybe upgrade quarterback, and I would definitely prioritize getting a tight end upgrade.
Yeah, pick number 4 of 14 teams. That makes sense. My bad. I was trying to figure out what that meant. Okay, so it is a 14 team league, and he said Geno was top 5 and upgraded his weapons, which is true, but don't forget there were a lot of quarterbacks that were hurt or did not play a full season last year. So you got to think about those guys now as well. Can you realistically put him ahead of Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Lamar, Burrow, Herbert, Fields, T-Law, Watson, Kirk Cousins, Tua, Dak? Can you realistically think he finishes better than those guys?
Nah.
They're all healthy, of course.
Yeah. But nah, I don't see it. But who knows?
I've been top 3. My bad. I wanted to remember that. All right, Nation. Just don't trade that first. Trade your first. Yeah, Dia says it right here. Trade your first. Exactly what I was thinking. Trade your first. Instead of that other first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Geno's okay. It's just that he doesn't have some of the upside that some of those other QBs have.
Right.
Akers scares me, and Brees is splitting time, and at least at first, I think he comes along more in the second half of the season, Brees Hall. But
it's just Dalvin Cook being there makes it really question how much of a workload are they going to give him?
Yeah, I mean Ferguson and Dolchich. Obviously, you want to try and upgrade tight end, but it's not that important. If you can't get one of the top 3 guys, Hawkinson, Andrew, or Kelsey, then it's really not worth it at the tight end position. You might as well just play one of those guys every single week and just leave it at that.
Because with a 14 team league, a bit deeper league than normal, I think guys are going to want to hang on to their good tight ends really, and they're probably going to ask too much than they're worth.
Yeah, like I don't want to tear up to Goddard or Kittle or Freiermuth. Like, why pay that? You might as well use some of the assets you have and just kind of try and upgrade somewhere else, right?
Fair enough. So unless you had something else, it looks like we got a trade here.
Yeah.
So we're trading away Mims, Gainwell, Charlie Jones.
Okay.
For Roschon, Alec Pierce, 24-second, and Lance. So for trades like this, I usually try to for bigger trades like this, I usually try to at first eliminate some of the lesser assets. Charlie Jones, is that like a defensive player? I'm not sure.
He's wide receiver on the Bengals, rookie.
Oh, okay. So he's someone I would definitely, for now, kind of exclude. Charlie Jones, I would exclude Alec Pierce. Okay, so that narrows it down to Mims, Gainwell. I've heard a lot of good things about Gainwell this offseason. So Mims, Gainwell for Roschon, 24-second, and Lance. Um, so that seems pretty even for now. I do like that 24-second though, but if it turns out to be a late second, then it's not going to be too valuable of a pick. But I still think I would take that 24-second side with Roshan, who has potential, and with Lance,
QB with the
who,
QB. It's
yeah,
Lance,
yeah,
but it's a QB.
yeah,
It's a QB, and it's a free QB basically. And he says it here, yeah, super flex best ball dynasty. Yeah,
yeah,
give me all of, yeah, give me the four pieces there,
yeah, yeah,
instead of the three. Absolutely, bro.
yeah. I
Second
think
will
so.
be early, yeah, and you get Roshan. That's, yeah, bro. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, I would
You
definitely.
definitely fleeced, dude. Itty bitty, no problem, man. Do us a favor, just smash that like, smash that subscribe if you're new. Appreciate you. Enrique, what up? Thoughts on Mixon, Connor, and Judy full PPR?
I like. So I would love Judy if he doesn't if he didn't have those issues with those injuries. I haven't researched it too heavily, but it sounds like it's a hamstring injury, which can tend to linger into the season and hold him back. But if he wasn't injured at all, I would really, really like him this season because he was like wide receiver 22 last year with while missing 2 games and with the that offense being absolutely abysmal. So that's like his very, very floor is a low wide receiver 2. Who
Mhm.
knows how high his ceiling is with Sean Payton in town? It could be wide receiver 1 ceiling. Mixon, I think with Orlando Brown there and without Osama J. Perian, I think he has a very, very solid season. And probably a little more consistent than last season as well. And Connor, being one of the only legit players on the offense, I think is going to be fed. And as long as he's healthy, I think he's an RB1. What do you think?
See, my problem with Connor, who I like, I've always liked Connor. He does get work. My problem
Mm-hmm.
with Connor is that team is literally tanking, and they've literally blatantly just out to the world. Okay, we're tanking, right? We're selling off all these fucking guys,
Mm-hmm.
and we're tanking. So my worry is that, does Connor play the full season? Does he get the work towards the end of the season when you need him the most? Because that's not beneficial for him to take a beating as an older player at that point in the season if that team sucks, has nothing to play for. And also on top of that, do the coaches want to play some of the younger running backs and see what they have in some of these guys, maybe gain some trade value for some of those guys? So that's the thing that kind of worries me, about James Conner, and that's why I'm kind of just staying away, in general. And I don't know, I just have this feeling. I mean, same thing with JT, right? I mean, JT, obviously, now he's not playing the first 4 games. He's gotta play at least 6, or at least be active for 6 games to get credit for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, after he plays those 6 games, I mean, there's no that I mean, that team's probably not making the playoffs, right? There's no incentive for him to keep playing. He's gonna, I pulled a hammy or my ankle hurts, and that's it. Why is he gonna play for them?
Right.
So, it kind of like a similar-ish situation where, if this team is bad, I don't know if Connor is gonna be playing when you really need him.
Right. It was,
What
that
do you
was
think
so
about
bad.
that? Have you thought about that at all?
I haven't really thought about it like that. Kind of taking into account whether these teams will be pretty good or pretty bad. That takes into account how much they'll play certain guys if it's worth it. Like you mentioned, if it's worth it beating them up for a lost season. I haven't really thought about it like that. That's a good catch there.
That's the one thing I worry about. Mixon, I
Mhm.
think, he'll be fine. He's on a awesome offense. I mean, Mixon was never great in general. He was just part of an awesome team. And his problem always was he was never efficient, but he didn't score enough touchdowns. And then finally he scored a bunch of touchdowns, and he was, he's been a top guy when he scores a bunch of
Mhm.
touchdowns, and
Yeah.
there's just a good offense. So Mixon, I'm fine with, and so I like Mixon and Judy. Judy, I loved. He's part of my Supernova 12, but obviously the injury sucks. Hopefully, it's not something that lingers, or but it's frustrating because every year it's all right. This is Judy's year, and he just continuously disappoints us with the injuries, man.
Yeah. So you've mentioned Supernova 12 a few times. What do you mean by that?
I'm going to try and pull it up here in a second.
Okay.
Jamie, love you, Stevie. Sorry I haven't been around lately the past couple weeks, but I'm still here going through some major shit. No problem, bro. You got to deal with what you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself is more important than anything. So I always,
Yeah.
appreciate everybody that, that watches or tunes in or interacts, just in general. So
Yeah. At
appreciate
the
you,
end of
bro.
the day, that's all you got is yourself. You've got
Hmm.
support, but at the end of the day, that's the most valuable resource you've got.
Problem, Enrique. Appreciate you. So let's talk as I'm trying to pull up the Supernova 12 here. God damn, why can't I find it? Well, let me pull up the pick. But first round of fantasy drafts, one QB. Is there a player or players that you are kind of staying away from that you're fading?
Staying away from, in the first round, you said.
Yeah, first round. First round.
Um, I know, call me crazy, but I've been kind of avoiding Jamar Chase for a time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Simply because of number 18, I think he is T. Higgins. I think Jamar Chase will always have that limited ceiling with T. Higgins there. There's only so many targets to go around. I think Jamar Chase, obviously, he's one of the better talents in the league, but I don't think he will quite live up to that, second, third overall draft capital with T. Higgins there and with T. Higgins healthy. I think his ceiling just was a little bit lower than that draft capital really requires. What do you think?
I I'm opposite on you with that. I am in on Jamar Chase. He's my 102, so I'm taking him right after JJ.
Mm-hmm.
I When he's healthy, he is JJ like.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
Um, so obviously being healthy has been an issue, but I'm not always going to just throw it away just because he hasn't been healthy. Obviously
Yeah.
whoever did that with uh CMC last year kind of felt it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he did.
So
Someone I've also been kind of debating on is if Travis Kelsey is worth really taking as high as him going, like mid to early first. Well, not early first, but pretty much mid first. Is a tight end in general really worth that high of a pick? I mean, there's no doubting how good Kelsey is. I don't think we need to elaborate on that at all. Everyone pretty much knows. But a tight end in general, are they really worth that high of a pick?
it's tough. I mean, because the warp on him is insane. Like he's up
Yeah.
there with, the JJs and chases, obviously depending on the format, if it's tight end premium or not and all that. But yeah, man, I think he is. Because it's just such a huge advantage, especially when you're talking about some of these, a lot of people playing small redraft leagues, start seven, start eight, right? I mean, that's a huge advantage to have,
Mm-hmm.
just in general. So yeah, he is warranted there. When you start talking deeper, like start nine, maybe start 10, like then it's a little bit less, I might not want to pick him as high, but
Uh,
yeah, and a lot of these smaller leagues, like that's a
yeah.
huge swing, a huge
Yeah.
advantage to have.
Yeah, because wasn't he over like 100 points or with a tight end too last year or something?
Yeah, it was ridiculous,
Yeah,
what he
it's
did,
it's not even close. So yeah,
right?
that's fair enough.
Your podcast helps me bring myself
Oh,
up. Good, bro. Appreciate you, Jamie. I'm glad we could do that. I've
so what
taken
about
Chase
you?
above JJ in a few drafts
Ooh,
just to diversify my shares. That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair. With us that play in a huge ton of leads, it's important to kind of diversify a little bit. You don't want to have everybody on the same on all of
mhm,
your teams, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm okay with that.
Hmm. Did you already mention? Is there guys you're avoiding in the first round?
What is that?
Did you already mention? Are there guys you're avoiding in the first round?
Are there guys I'm avoiding in the first round? Cooper Cup. I just refuse to take him.
Cooper Cup?
I
How
have to
come?
rank them up there, but I refuse to take him.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair enough. He is
He's one
obviously.
that I'm fading, and it's another one of those. Okay, if that team is horrible, why are they going to keep playing Matt Stafford into the end of the season? If somebody else comes in there, he's an older receiver that's got ankle issues or foot issues, whatever it is. So
Mhm.
it's just rough, and I'm okay with passing up on them or taking the loss on them. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't want to be on that side. I don't want to, like, there's just too many other guys in that area that just make sense to take the risk on him. At least for me, that's what I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is the truth, and I can't deny that. I do really like Cup, but I do know there are some very glaring red flags of him that you have to take into account.
Oh,
Very glaring.
there's Caleb. What's up, Caleb? Stevie out here breaking my heart with Cup. Yeah, man, I'm
The
worried,
truth.
man.
It's the truth.
I'm worried. I'm
So,
worried. I hate Akers. I hate Akers, bro.
really, how come?
I've never liked Akers. I just think I never thought he was that great to begin with.
Hmm.
But once he got injured, he came back. Then he was in the doghouse, and they were playing Henderson over him. They tried to trade him, but then they couldn't, so they got stuck with him. And they had to keep him. He's
Hmm.
on a contract year. Does he get re-signed or not? Like, for Dynasty, I'm totally off. I mean, in redraft, I mean, for the price, like, I guess I get, if you want to take him there, I don't have any shares of him. He's just a guy that I'm fading. As well. And again, I could be wrong. It's fine. I just don't. I just want to avoid that situation.
Yeah,
There's some
fair enough.
situations where I just choose to just avoid it.
Yeah,
That's all. You know,
yeah,
that's all.
fair enough.
Because where you're taking Cooper Cup, like, I mean, I'd rather just play it safe. Give me Diggs. I mean, give me CD.
Hmm.
Give me Cheetah. Like, I just feel better about those guys.
Right.
You know. I'm with you, Caleb. I'm with you, bro. I understand. For me, it's just, is it worth the risk? But or should I just take Diggs and or anybody else in that area, right? Or do I go running back, right? I'd rather take Bijan, like, So it just depends. Like, if Cup falls far enough, I'll take him. But I just don't know about that early. Like, I don't know about too early for me. Like,
So
where are you comfortable taking Cup?
I
Or where do you
think
have him ranked? Better, less.
ranked. I've finished my rankings for right around wide receiver 3 to 4. I'm still debating on Hill or Cup, but hearing things like this about the injuries and all that, it kind of makes me lean towards wanting Hill, Hill, Chase, and Jefferson over him. And I think wide receiver 4 is a pretty good spot for him, really. And I think mid to late first is a good spot for him to end at least in
Yeah, I mean,
redraft.
I
Yeah.
listen. I got him ranked. I mean, he's up there. I think he's wide receiver 4 or 5 for me, maybe.
Hmm.
But I just feel comfortable taking some of the other guys. That's all.
Yeah. Fair enough.
You
Would
know,
you rather have Garrett Wilson or Cooper Cup?
that's where it's tough. Like,
Yeah.
that's where it's like, oh shit, should I just take Cup at this point? But there's a world where you see Garrett Wilson just go off with Aaron Rodgers. So,
Yeah.
hey, that's
Tho-
tough.
Those those elite guys that you want to discount, it gets to a point where we're like, how much do you want to discount
How
them?
much do you want it? I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a world Garrett Wilson finishes top 5. I know that's like a cop out answer, but
Yeah. It's true. It's true. He averaged like 15 points per
if
game.
I
Wasn't
get
he
down
ranked
that late
twice?
to it, I probably would take. Oh man, is it worth the risk to take Cup?
Yeah.
Caleb,
Yeah. That's
why
the
else should
thing.
I take Cup other than the wide receiver one? Obviously, the last 2 seasons. Like, do we really have faith that the Rams are going to be decent enough to finish the whole season and Stafford plays the whole season?
Hmm.
Um, Even if they're a horrible team, like, you don't think maybe they want to see Bennett play or somebody, like, I don't know,
Hmm. Yeah. It is
and
about.
at that point, is Cup worth it, right? I mean, this could be quick. This could be like the first 8 games. If they're like 2-6 or 1-7, I mean,
Out of there. Could be.
That's the one. That's the thing that worries me. So is it worth me taking the chance on Cup? It's probably not. That's why I'm just fading him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just fuck it. Give me Wilson.
Yeah.
Give me the guy that's playing with the Hall of Fame quarterback that is going to be on a good team, that is going to be on a good offense, that's going to be in the red zone plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that guy.
Yeah. Fair
I'm
enough.
sorry. I'm sorry, Caleb.
What about? I got one more question.
But what
What
about you
about?
though? Are you taking Cup? Are you taking Cup? Or are you taking Wilson?
I'd need. I'm kind of an indecisive person, regardless. So that's something like I'm gonna need to think about because I'm not sure at this point. My gut tells me like Cup, whatever, but then this and but then this. It's just like it's hard to judge these.
Oh,
It's hard.
Aaron Rodgers goes to a new team with a young team. He's having the fucking time of his life. If you've seen, like,
Oh
he's
yeah.
enjoying what's happening here. And we saw that last game where he played with Garrett Wilson. And one of the things I was, kept bringing up with how he used to do with Devontae, making this check at the line of scrimmage and Colin Heiken just throwing it to Garrett Wilson quick. And he did that like
Mhm.
2, 3 times. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Garrett Wilson is
Yeah. That.
going to be getting work. Like, and then he gets
Yeah.
the back shoulder little, touchdown throw. And it's just, it was just pretty. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Like that'll be nice.
and,
Can't wait for
and,
those points.
and I don't think Rodgers is done. I mean, he's still got the arm. Did he not play
Yeah.
great last year? Yeah, maybe not, but he didn't have Garrett Wilson also.
Yeah.
Um, so it's tough, bro.
Give me Seth Brown over Wilson, but I take the upside of Cup of wide receiver one with 8 pick. That is a good point. Why take Wilson that early instead when you can possibly get Wilson or someone equal to his caliber in that early second? You can get both. Why have one? We can have both.
I'm taking St. Brown over Wilson. I'm a big St. Brown guy.
Mm, yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so
He'll
I
be.
am taking him over Wilson. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like if Cup falls to the late first, like it's going to be extremely hard to not take him. Like that
Right.
upside is just is just nuts,
Way up there.
you know. So Wilson over Cup for Irish. Yep. Jamie said, you must think the Rams offense will be worse in history unless you. I don't know. I'm not saying they're going to be worse in history, but I just don't think that team is going to be very good at all.
I don't.
And that's what worries me. And it doesn't matter if the offense is bad, as long as Stafford's out there, Cup is going to get his. Like
Mhm.
I can totally admit that and understand that because they weren't good last year, but Cup was still fucking awesome because
Yeah.
Stafford, that's just all he threw to. My
Yeah.
issue is Stafford going to play the whole season? Does anybody else feel this way? Am I the only one that thinks that maybe Stafford doesn't finish the season?
It's a valid concern. I don't know if it will happen, but it's definitely possible. Definitely possible.
Mac, what's up, Mac? I hope Rodgers isn't this year's Russell Wilson. No, I mean Aaron Rodgers is just better
Well,
than Russell Wilson in general. Obviously,
yeah,
he's going to a new team, so you can say, okay, is there a cause for concern? He wasn't that good last year. Those are absolutely valid, but
yeah. Someone like Rodgers, who's been in the league for like like almost 2 decades or however long, if you get a young guy goes to a new situation, he's probably gonna have growing pains because he's still getting used to his original team. He's still getting used to the league in general. When Aaron Rodgers has been in the league for however many years, had multiple MVPs, he's been around a time or two. I think someone of his experience and all that, I think he'll be just fine in terms of getting adjusted to the new team. He might start a bit slow, but I think by the end of the year, I think he'll be just fine.
yeah, I agree. Jamie said Stafford's a year removed from that elbow injury. I mean, that's another slight little concern of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's more of like if that team isn't good, like are they really going to let Stafford play out the whole season?
Right.
You know?
And Stafford's getting up there in age too. Who's to say he can't? We can't predict injuries, obviously, but who's to say he won't get banged up this early in this season because he's getting up there in age? Who's to say he can't do that?
It could be. I mean, Stafford's a warrior. I love me, some Matt Stafford.
Yeah, he's got the mentality for that.
All right, so Supernova 12. Let me just show you what that is quick. It's a group of 12 players, and I have some of the audio, but the app like broke down on me, so I couldn't really finish the audio for all of these guys. But I think I have like 6 with the audio. So let me try and let me play these for you guys.
What is the Supernova 12? A supernova is powerful and luminous explosion of a star. There are 12 extraordinary men that are about to explode in Dynasty fantasy football. These men are referred to as the Supernova 12.
Let's see. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
So that is basically just an idea of what the Supernova 12 is. And I'll play, I think I have the first 6 here. So I'll play these and then I'll just show you a picture of the whole thing. But
The first member of the Supernova 12 is Mr. Gary Wilson, also known as G. Willie. This elite 22-year-old second-year wide receiver had over 1,100 yards with garbage quarterback play as a rookie. Wilson has elite success rates against man zone and press coverages. Now with Hall of Fame QB Aaron Rodgers, this star is about to explode.
so G Willie
Garrett Wilson, oh yeah.
up there. Second guy.
The second member of the Supernova 12 is Chris Olave. This elite 22-year-old second-year wide receiver had over 1,000 yards with garbage quarterback play as a rookie. Olave, similar to Wilson, has elite success rates against man zone and press coverages. Last year had a 29.3% target rate, good for 10th in the NFL. 3rd in air yards. 9th in ADOT. 4th in deep targets and 10th in yards per route run. With new QB Derek Carr slinging the rock, Olave is ready to explode.
Solave.
Oh
Number
yeah.
2. Diaz said, yo, baller, redraft hot take. Will Lutz, best kicker, also picked up the Saints. You better not be wrong.
Lutz, he got traded, I think. Oh, who did he get traded to? I'm forgetting the team. But hey, why not? Kickers are pretty hard to in my experience, kickers are pretty hard to predict, so I mean, why not? He went. Oh, did he go to the Titans or was it someone else? I don't remember. Maybe to the. No, it was to the Broncos. I think. I don't remember exactly.
Was it? One Nation said 12 team super flex. Which side are you taking? Higgins or Godwin? And a third, I'm taking Higgins easily
Me
there.
too. Me too.
Yeah, let's give us
Easily.
some Higgins, man. Lutz
Wait,
traded to the
hold on.
Broncos. Is that right? Is that true?
I think so. He was traded. I don't remember exactly what team though. I'm pretty sure Broncos sounds right.
Was it Hopkins, Dustin Hopkins or something? Somebody who got traded to Cleveland.
I
think it
don't
was
I don't
I
remember
think it
that.
was him.
I don't remember. All I know is
Number 1
Lutz
pick.
because I'm a Saints fan, so I paid attention to him.
Mm.
So Jamie Carragh just I don't know if you want to read this.
All over this hot redhead when she shows up tonight. Yeah, all right, Jamie. Do your thing. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Oh boy.
All right, let
Didn't
me
hold
show you
back
some
on that
more
one.
of my Supernova 12 real quick.
Meet this member of the Supernova 12. His name is Jerry Jeudy. With a strong finish to last season and a new Hall of Fame coach in Sean Payton, he should get Russell Wilson back on track. It can't get any worse than the trash of an offense they had last year. At just 24 years old, the former first-round pick is ready to explode.
Jerry Judy, fucking guy got injured.
I like it.
Better not
I do
fuck up.
have one question.
Go ahead.
So the Supernova 12 is pretty much 12 guys who you think will go off this year and be really good, pretty much.
Basically, and raise their dynasty value, or at least hold their dynasty value. because I got some of these rookies up here that they're pretty high in Dynasty. I'll get to that.
Nice.
But yeah, these are guys that I think are about to take take that next step or redeem themselves in a certain way. So
Nice.
let's get to number 4.
Next up in the Supernova 12 is Elijah Moore. He was once looked at as a top 20 Dynasty wide receiver. We forget in 2021 that he was an early second-round pick, and that he had a 25% target share. He did get hurt, but he was wide receiver 28 in fantasy points per game, averaging 12.6 fantasy points per game. He was wide receiver 15 in win rate against man coverage. And he grades well in Matt Harmon's reception perception. And now with the top QB in Deshaun Watson, Moore could be a favorite target of Watson. Prepare for this star to burst. And almost forgot. He's only 23 years old. This is Elijah Moore, member of the Supernova 12.
Elijah Moore is young. I don't think a lot of people realize.
How old is he?
What did you say? 23? 23 years old.
23. Nice.
Yeah, so there's Elijah Moore, and I got 2 more with the voice, and then the other ones I just have a full picture of it, but let's get to these last 2.
Meet member of the Supernova 12 Drizzy Drake London. Finished wide receiver 31 as a rookie full PPR. Commanded elite targets, finishing second in the NFL in targets per route run. And 5th in the NFL in target share. These metrics are elite, and he did this at just 21 years old. He had a strong finish to the season with starting QB Desmond Ridder. Drizzy Drake London is an elite star. And his time is now.
Drake London. I like it.
Drizzy Drake, and then let's do the last one with the words. I also have the 4 horsemen. I'll show you what the I'll also show you who those are.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Calvin Ridley finished as the wide receiver 5 his last full season. He has missed a lot of time, but not due to injury. On a new team with upcoming elite quarterback Trevor Lawrence, Ridley should easily be the number 1 target, commanding targets on a heavy pass offense. Elite route running and separation had Ridley talked about with the elite wide receivers in the game. I'm here to tell you that Ridley is still elite. And no, Christian Kirk is not stopping him.
Ridley, I like it. That's a gamble for sure.
Christian Kirk's not stopping him, bro.
No, not at all.
All right. Here's the full Supernova 12. Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, I really like him this year. I think he'll go off.
Lamar. Oops. What I press here? Lamar Jackson.
Easy pick.
Possible MVP season coming through. But a lot of people were down on him. There was a lot of Dynasty managers. He was available in Dynasty.
Really?
Yes, for when he got hurt last year, even the beginning of the offseason, the hype just started coming back as he's healthy and came back after he got signed. But before he got the contract, like, he was very available, which probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Sky Moore, my guy. Jamie said hot take. Elijah Moore outproduces Cooper this year.
Whoa, okay.
Okay,
I don't think that's happening, but it's not impossible.
Definitely a hot take. In my league, the Elijah Moore owner is rebuilding. How much are you willing to spend on him? 12-team PPR Superflex IDP. I'd spend a second. I'd spend a second on him. I'm okay with that. But if that guy's rebuilding, he might not want to take the second. He might want to hold on to Elijah Moore. So, but yeah, see if he'll take a second. And you're a top team, so yeah, give him. It's a late second. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that.
Nice.
Elijah Moore had multiple top 10 weeks his rookie year. Yeah, bro. He was open 91% of his routes run last year, just wasn't targeted. Absolutely. This is very true. There was a whole tape on it showing like how he was getting open all the time. I love message watching this year, drafted outside the top. I love what? I love
Out.
massage Watson.
I think that's what he's trying to say. Yeah. Oh
Drafted
boy.
outside the top 10 with top 5 upside. Yeah, I agree. He's
Easily.
literally like
Easily.
there so late. He's literally there so late.
Okay,
Um,
so
go ahead.
could I talk about Watson for a sec, or did
Yeah,
you want
yeah,
to move on to something else?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Go ahead, brother.
so for 4 years straight, he was a top 5 fantasy quarterback. For 4 games last year, he wasn't very good for fantasy, but the last 2 games, he had 20 points per game. Are we throwing away 4 entire years of elite production for 4 off games? I mean, come on. Are you serious?
Yeah,
Come on. That's 4 years of elite production thrown away. It doesn't matter for 4 off games.
I'm
That
with you.
just doesn't make any
And
sense to me.
I think the one of the most important things is, understanding and realizing, because people forget, or maybe people were just too young to remember, that Deshaun Watson, that last season he played, he did not have DeAndre Hopkins on that team.
No.
So that was literally Brandon Cooks, a little bit more than half a season of Will Fuller. I think who was the tight end? I think it was like Atkins. Like they had a bunch of just nobodies.
Yeah.
Which just makes it even more impressive. But
Yeah.
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 Lamar, you said easy pick. I'm guessing you're with me on Lamar here.
Yeah. That's pretty self-explanatory with him, I think.
Perfect. I've got Sky Moore as the other guy up here next. I've been telling people to buy Sky Moore for the last, since last season. And in a group chat, somebody called me an idiot.
I'd love to hear some elaboration on that. Why do you think he'll break out this year?
Well, I think that he came from a small school. I mean, last year they had a lot of more veteran guys. And they taught him all the different positions last year. He learned all the different positions, and they wanted to at least get him on the field. They put him on punt and return. He never returned a punt in his life. That was a mistake, but they wanted to get the ball in his hands. And then you saw last year when he was called upon, when he did play, he was targeted. He was a good wide receiver. I forget which game it was, but that one game where they went into overtime, he had some clutch catches in the fourth quarter and in the overtime. So yeah, I really like Sky Moore. He's a great route runner. He grades very well on reception perception. So I think he takes that next step up. He's going into that Juju role into the slot, and we saw kind of what Juju did last year. So yeah, I'm for it. I mean, he works in the slot, he works the middle of the field, he works outside. They want to get the ball in his hands with sweeps, and you saw him score the touchdown in the Super Bowl on that little whatever that was, a little out route with the motion and all that. So yeah, give me some of Sky Moore, because if it's not Sky Moore, who else is it going to be? Tony can't stay healthy. MVS is just MVS. Uh, Rashid Rice he's okay, but I think Sky Moore is just better. And I think after Kelsey, Sky Moore, could be the guy.
Why not? Yeah, I like it.
For the second, but was declined. You think I should do 2 seconds or a second and a third? You could give the third. Give the second and a third if he wants it. Give the
Yeah.
second and the third if he wants it. J.K. Dobbins, my next guy. What do you think about J.K. this year?
I really like him this year. I think completely healthy. He's one of the best pure wrestlers in the league. And I think with Todd Monken, this new offensive coordinator, I think this Rivers offense will be much more what's the word? Just a lot more effective. Because I think with Greg Roman, he just ran, and a lot of times he'd run even though when the run wasn't even working. So that offense just became stagnant at times. So I think with this new offensive coordinator, this offense will just be so much more effective. And I think Dobbins will definitely, with his own talent, plus the offense becoming much, much better, I think they'll just combine into him being a great fantasy asset.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some JK. I have a ton of him in redraft for just whatever reason. He's always available late. And I'm a guy that just likes to wait a little bit
Yeah.
on my running backs, or maybe I'll take a running back early and then like wait on my RB2. But Dobbins has just been available really, especially in
Yeah.
ESPN leagues. If you're like playing on ESPN fantasy, his ADP is so down, like you literally have to scroll, which is just nuts. But
He's falling to like the 8th round in some leagues. Like
yeah,
that's
I mean
crazy. Come on.
he averaged what, 6 yards a carry last year. I mean, the one season he was healthy, he had almost double-digit touchdowns, and he had barely over 120 carries, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, give me JK on a team where he's most likely the alpha guy or the guy. I mean, Gus
Yeah.
Edwards took less money to come back. Justice Hill looks pretty good, but I mean, we could see JK catch some passes this year too, which
Yeah.
will kind of be crazy. So I'm for it. I love the upside, and I think that if he gets the chance, the opportunity, which I think he's going to, I think he's going to smash.
I think so too.
Next guy, I've got Antonio Gibson. Now, I couldn't make these all, easy or guys that people, other people think. So I got Antonio Gibson, who I've been on, for a while, ever since, even since last year. I mean, I love me some Antonio Gibson, but they got the enemy in there. And as soon as that happened, it kind of just like raised these alarms in my head. And I'm like, oh shit, like Gibby's going to be a very good guy to get late in drafts. But yeah, what do you feel about Gibby?
I think now me personally, I think we've heard Gibson's gonna break out for like 2 or 3 years straight now. But I'm not saying he can't. I think with Eric being me, whatever from the shapes, I think kind of similar to the Ravens, he'll help the offense be not stagnant as much. And I think with Gibson falling to the 8th, 9th, whatever round, I think he's worth a shot with the talent he's got.
Now, I would say also, to be fair, uh, Gibby was what, RB12 and RB13 his first 2 seasons. Right, so he's right
Yeah.
on that fringe RB1, and he wasn't given the full workload. That was the problem, is they weren't
Yeah.
giving him the full workload, and he is a wide receiver, converted to running back, and some people don't know that, but he was a wide receiver. He got converted to running back, so he can do both. He can rush the football and he can catch the football. So yeah, I love me some Gibby this year. I'm not a huge fan of Brian Robinson. I just think that Gibby is just all around
Yeah.
is just better. And then after Gibby, I've got 3 of the rookies. So it's a little more than 12 because I just put the rookies just kind of all together there. But Bijan, Gibbs, and JSN, I think they're going to show, what they're worth and their value, and they will, Bijan can't go any really higher than he is. Gibbs already is like, RB3, 4 in Dynasty, and JSN is already, basically fringe top 10 Dynasty wide receiver. So I think they'll kind of show what they have and kind of hold the value that they currently do. So this is the Supernova 12. These are, guys that I think are going to do really well.
Could I talk about a couple of these last guys real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead. Of course, bro.
Okay. So I saw there was.
Excellent.
Oh, that's all right. So I saw there was Bijan. I don't think we need to talk about him. We all know he's going to be Bijan. But I saw Gibbs in there. I remember seeing a video shortly after the draft of the Lions' war room going absolutely nuts after either they saw he was available or they drafted him, something like that. But they went absolutely nuts. Like, thank God we got this player. They took him 12th overall. He's going to get work. There's over like 400 vacated touches in Detroit right now. And obviously Monty, he's a pretty good player. He'll get his touches. But Gibbs, he's just such a talented pass catcher out of the backfield. He's just such a talented player. He was taken with such a high pick. The Lions were so excited to get him. I think he's just a home run pick this year in redraft and Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what Swift did on like limited touches.
Yeah.
And that's because he always got injured. So that's like the floor. And he was what? He was an RB2 last year.
Yeah.
So that's like the crazy part. It's like the floor is kind of RB2, I feel like,
Yeah. So I see his Charbonnet there at the end too.
JSN.
Oh, that's Jason. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really like Jason too. I think with him being taken in the first round, I think that capital will do a long way. I do think with 3 talented wide receivers there, Gino, who's not Mahomes. I do think they will kind of struggle for dominance in every single week. But I think Jason, with his alpha ability and his draft capital, I think he'll end up being just fine.
Hmm. I mean, how long is Lockett going to be on that team too? I mean, is he going to be on that team next year? He's obviously getting a little older as well, so it's kind of a perfect like, all right, Lockett's coming out, but you know what, JSN is coming right in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for the future, definitely high hopes. But I think he shows what he can do this year, and he's kind of already showing that. And with the wrist injury, I don't know if you saw, he's already catching passes.
Yeah, yeah. I think when people hear about injuries during camp, they don't research them enough, and they automatically just say, "Oh, he's not going to be any good" or something like that. Like a lot of these are world class athletes, some of the best athletes in the world, with some of the best training staffs in the world. They're going to be fine most of the time. They're going to
His
be fine.
his hands were 99. Now it's about 90. Still good enough.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty darn good.
Still good enough.
Yeah.
Reese, what's up, Reese? Thoughts on my team? 10-team QB. Jalen Hurts, Jalen Waddle, Amari Cooper, Tony Pollard, Alexander
Ooh,
Madison, Kyle Pitts,
ooh.
Justin Fields. It's a super flex. Wow. Okay. Full PPR. What do you
So
think, Bola?
So Hurts and Fields, just give him the trophy now. I mean,
It's,
those are two of the best quarterbacks you could ever have. I mean, obviously, like Jalen Hurts and Allen would be better, but like that's two of the best quarterback picks you could ever have. I Pollard, Cooper, Madison. I really, really, really like those guys. Pitts is someone I'm kind of about, but the rest of the team is so elite that even if Pitts is okay, you'll be one of the best teams in the entire league.
yeah, no. If you've got two of those top kind of QBs, even in a 10 team, the warp on those guys are pretty great.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I'll take that. But yeah, I mean, I like it. You got Waddle, you got Cooper, you got Pollard, Madison. I like the
Pollard.
team, Reese.
Sorry, what was that?
No, I said I like the team, Reese.
Yeah.
Appreciate you tuning in. Smash that like first, smash that subscriber if you're new. Come out anytime. We'll be on a few nights a week here. So
Yep.
thanks for the feedback. Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate you.
Pollard is someone I've been raving about all offseason, especially ever since Zeke was released. What do you think about
Pollard.
him?
Yeah, I'm not a Pollard guy. I'm
Huh?
not a
How
Pollard
come?
guy. Sorry. Just like I'm not a Cup guy right now. I'm not a Pollard guy. I mean, they didn't draft anybody, so he survived. He survived a lot of
Yeah.
things. They didn't draft anybody. They didn't bring anybody in. So he absolutely survived, which I didn't think he would. So hats off to him.
Yeah.
I think what he did last year is basically what he can do this year again. Like, I'm not saying he's not a top 10 guy, don't get me wrong. I just don't have him as high as some other people do. Um, but I mean, he never got the full workload. And when they did give him more work, he broke his whole leg or whatever
Hmm.
happened, and which was unfortunate, obviously. But now he's coming back from injury, and
Mhm.
hopefully he's okay and he's back, 100%. But
Yeah.
are they going to run him into the ground? I mean, for redraft, I'm fine with him. Like I said, he's in my top 10. He's just not like top 3 or anything like that. But
Yeah.
in Dynasty is where I worry the most because he's on
Yeah.
he's on a 1-year deal and we don't know what's going to happen next year. Are they going to tag him again? We see what's happening with these running backs now. Like, can we really trust? Can we really trust that? So. That's kind of just my issue with Pollard, really. But yeah, in redraft, I mean, he's in my top 10, but I'm not taking him over, just over certain. Like, I'm taking Chubb over him. I don't care. Don't know how you feel about Chubb, but Chubb to
Yeah. I
me,
really like Chubb too, but
Chubb to me
there are
can
two
be
guys
RB
that are
one
kind of
one.
yeah. So Pollard
Don't
was at RB8 last year. Do you think he'll be better or worse than that?
I think he'll be right in that same range. I don't know if he'll be better. I don't know about better. There's
Mhm.
just some other guys there that I think might be better.
There's just
I don't
so
know.
many
I don't
of
know
those top
how
tier
much.
guys. It's like
I
hard.
just don't know. Pollard's just not one of my guys. I don't have him in it. I don't have any shares of him at all. But yeah, like I'm just taking other running backs in front of him. Like I'm taking CMC, I'm taking Bijan, I'm taking Eckler, I'm taking Saquon, I'm taking Chubb, I'm taking Henry. Mm,
What about Jacobs?
that Pollard, Najee. Um, that's the range I have him in, so I'm okay taking him, over there. After Chubb, I can warrant taking him for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
After Chubb and Saquon, where do you have Tony Pollard? I guess in your rankings.
I'd say around the same range, but like I said, I haven't finished rankings yet, but I'd say around like RB 6-7 is a good
Okay. So
spot.
yeah, I'm not far off from you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm right in that same range. My bad, Reese.
So
My bench is Evans, Ayuk, White, Pacheco, Laporta, Pickett. Oh, you got Ayuk on the bench, Evans. Okay, should I trade Cooper and a bench? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
why not?
absolutely. Go see who maybe needs a wide receiver that likes White a wide receiver. Sees who needs a running back who might like White or Pacheco. See who needs a wide receiver maybe. Maybe you give up 2 wide receivers for one. I don't know. But see who maybe you can kind of finagle. I'd more like attack a team than like a certain player. Like I know people that okay, what player should I go after? It's more about what teams need certain things. You go whatever player they have on their team. That might be the guy that you should go after there. So keep in mind Zeke had 500 plus yards and 10 plus touchdowns. No, absolutely, absolutely 100%. But has Pollard ever gotten a workload like Zeke has? Do they want to give him a workload like Zeke has? Right? I just don't know. I'm worried because when they gave him more work, he broke his whole shit. I don't know. I could be a Pollard hater and a Cup hater, but like I'm with you. Like I'm right there with you. Like you said, RB6, I'm right there. RB7, RB8.
Yeah.
So we're in right there. It is the same range. I just don't know if he's got like the top 3 RB ability. Like I just can't. For me, like I can't put him over a guy like Chubb. I can't put him over Henry, who's going to get 30 totes a game, who might even see receiving work. I can't put him over Saquon, who is the only thing the Giants have on offense, basically, other than Waller. I can't put him over Eckler, who scored 20 touchdowns the past few years. I can't put him over CMC. I can't put him over Bijan.
So
that's the only reason why I have Pollard that low. I just can't put him ahead of those guys comfortably anyway.
So one more stat that I've kind of memorized because I like Pollard so much. Zeke had, 39 red zone touches last year, 40 if you count a couple receiving touches last year. 39 was ranked I think it was either like 5th or 8th in the league or something like that. 39, 40 touches in the red zone available all year. And like Reese mentioned, who else are they going to give those red zone touches to? Deuce Vaughn?
Yeah. I'm with you. Are they going to give it to Pollard? Are they going to put it this way? Is it like I can totally see a world where this is he's on that 1-year contract, right? Maybe they don't resign him next year. Maybe they run him into the ground this year.
Yeah.
That's possible. I'm not, I'm not refuting that. I'm not going to say that's not possible. These are all great points and totally 100% facts. I'm not refuting that at all.
Yeah.
I just personally have a hard time putting him over those other guys that I mentioned. That's my only problem, really.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because I think Chubb could finish fucking RB1. I think all those other guys have a chance to finish RB1. I don't know if I can say Pollard has a chance to finish RB1. It's possible. Don't get me wrong, but just feel like the other guys could finish higher. Jamie says hot take Pollard is a RB2. Okay.
Oh, that's hot.
Like I said, it's possible. There is a world where that happens. Absolutely. I just feel a little bit more comfortable taking those other guys before I take Pollard.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, Pitts is a question mark. Will Ritter pass enough? Mariota was trash, but is Ritter that much better?
Well,
yeah, we've got a ton of Falcons ish since last year. Mariota was straight trash. They didn't want to throw the ball with Mariota. They were down by like 30 plus, and Mariota had 13 pass attempts that game.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how
rough.
shitty they felt with Mariota. Ritter, we saw last year. I mean, he threw the ball 30 times a game those last 4 games, I think.
Yeah,
Had a great rapport with Drake London. Obviously, Pitts wasn't there at that time, but when Pitts did play, he had a 30% target share, and he led the league in uncatchable passes.
Ooh.
He had 30%. I think it was over 30. It was like 30% of the passes thrown to him were uncatchable. And if you actually look at the tape, you can see that he gets open. He is open, but Mariota, trash.
Is Ritter's much
Unfortunately.
better though?
I don't know if Ritter's much better, but he
Okay.
just has to be decent enough. He looked
Yeah.
much better in 4 games. I'll tell you, I'd rather have Ritter than Mariota. He at least threw the ball to Drake London. I mean, we saw. I mean, if you add up Drake London's stats for the last 4 games, he's over 1,000 yards. What was it, 1,400 yards? I think it was. If you add everything up, those whatever the 4 games was. So it's just tough. All right, here comes Diaz spitting the facts, backing me up with Pollard here. Pollard was at the bottom of goal line efficiency last year, which is why Zeke was crucial to them scoring in the green zone.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree. That's some good facts as well. Which yeah, I just can't take him over those other guys. But I'll absolutely take Pollard if he falls to me in a situation. But I haven't had that situation come up to me yet. So. Next best option for me at the round I was in was Ingram. Had to take a shot with Pitts. You're fine, but you're fine taking Pitts. The difference between the top 3 guys and the rest of the league is just that those top 3 guys mean a lot. After that, it's kind of just a flat. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
So yeah, I'll take the upside. I guess that Pitts has. I'm okay with that. You're fine there. You're fine there.
Looks like we got another question from Calvo. What's up, guys? 2 questions. Pick one. DK or Keenan Allen week 1. I personally am thinking Keenan Allen. I think he's in for a better target share with a better quarterback, arguably a better player too than DK. So for me, it's Keenan pretty strong, pretty easily over him. And Miles Sanders or Najee Harris week 1. See, I've been raving about Miles Sanders all offseason too. That's my guts tell me Miles Sanders, but truly it could go either way for Sanders or Najee. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm taking Najee. For me, I'm taking Najee. So he's going to get the workload. He's on a better offense, I feel like. And he just has more of a chance, I feel like, to score. So give me Najee. I like Miles Sanders as well, especially for the price that he's going at. But give me Najee. Give me the guy that's going to get a ton of the work on a better offense. And then I'm with you on the Keenan Allen. Give me Keenan Allen, who's going to get a ton of targets. Now JSN might not play. He may play. We don't know. And I do like DK, but I think with Keenan Allen is going to get the targets that he's going to get is worth it. It's worth it to start him there.
Yeah.
Jamie said Ford versus Strong. Well, you tell me, you're the Browns fan, right? They brought in Strong. I've been a vivid believer in Ford. I've got him on a ton of my benches in a ton of leagues. But yeah, you tell me, do you think Ford is going to be the guy or is it Strong? I mean, I think Strong just got there, so I think Ford has the edge. And for me, it's still Ford, but I do like Pierre Strong.
Me personally, I haven't really watched these guys enough to really be able to tell you because they are so low in the depth chart. I haven't really watched too much of them. But I do like what I've seen from Pierre Strong and his pretty limited touches. But who knows with him being just traded there earlier this week or whatever. It's hard to say.
Okay, so Najee plays against San Francisco week 1. Scared of Najee versus the Niners.
That's a bit scary.
Honestly, I don't care. I know it matters, but it's tough. Who's the Panthers playing?
I
I don't have any Najee
I
or
don't-
Miles Sanders. I have no clue who they're playing.
I don't remember who the Panthers are playing week 1. I don't think it's anyone on the same level as the Niners.
Atlanta.
I don't. Atlanta. Oh yeah, that's easily much softer.
Atlanta. So yeah, you could sway it Miles Sanders' way just based on the matchup if you want to go with that.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we got another question from Calvo. Would you trade Pacheco and Cooper for Olave? I would. I would definitely. What do you think?
Well, I mean, in redraft, it's tough because Cooper, obviously, if he's healthy and if Deshaun Watson, returns back to form like we think he is, obviously he's got to throw the ball to somebody. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Olave goes way earlier.
Yeah.
Do I feel more comfortable with Olave or Cooper? Who would you feel more comfortable with?
I would feel more comfortable with Olave, but because Olave he's getting better and better while Cooper is getting older, so I think he might start trending down here soon. Not saying Cooper will be bad, but to break that tiebreaker, I think with Olave ascending and Cooper possibly descending, that's enough to turn the tide for me.
I mean, I do have Olave ranked higher than Amari. So, yeah, I'll take Olave. Give me the young guy who Derek Carr is. We had a whole episode on Olave and Waddle, and we talked about Derek Carr and how good he was on the deep ball, and how Olave excelled in the deep ball, and is kind of like a really good fit. The only thing that's tough about it is there's a world where Amari Cooper's a wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And Olave is like right there in the same thing, and it's just kind of pit for pat. But yeah, I'm okay with it. Or can you give up somebody else instead of Amari? Diaz said I had Pierce, Ford, and Strong 3, 4, 5 rank in that draft. All had great efficiency numbers, production in college. Yeah, that's the thing. I like both. I've got Pierre and I've got Ford in literally a bunch of leagues. In a bunch. Like Jamie knows that. Jamie looks up my rosters and shit. He'll tell me exactly my percentage of who I own.
You've got
No, we're not giving Waddle. No. We're not. We're definitely not giving Waddle.
Yeah, that's too much.
I'll give up Evans and Ayuk.
Yeah. Waddle's a stud.
Can you give away Ayuk?
Yeah, I'd keep.
There goes Jamie. Dynasty Planet. Dynasty Planet website, apparently. That's where Jamie knows. I love Ayuk too, Diaz. I love Ayuk too.
Yeah, I do too. It's just so crowded with offense. It's like it's hard to tell exactly what's going to happen.
I mean, I don't love him enough to not be realistic about things, but I do really like Ayuk, especially in Dynasty, where hopefully he doesn't get re-signed to San Fran. Hopefully he can go out somewhere and get a contract. Like that would be ideal. Like imagine he fucking signs with Buffalo and you got Diggs and Ayuk and Josh Allen or Chiefs or some other good offensive team that needs a wide receiver. The Chargers, like anybody.
Yeah.
Olave over Ayuk, definitely. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
He would take. He said. He would. I don't think he would take Evans or Ayuk. Okay, I thought he said he would. Okay.
Yeah.
Try it. Try giving up Ayuk and Pacheco or somebody else you've got on your bench.
You can check it up. A good manager won't accept that, but you can try. You can try.
Try and tear up there, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I got nothing else really for tonight. I got to get up out of here.
I gotta get going here.
But Bola, appreciate you coming out. Just let everybody know where they can find you out there.
All right. So I am on Instagram. I run my own fantasy football page. It's called Big Ball Fantasy. BIGBALLA Fantasy. It's on Instagram, like I mentioned. Feel free to check it out. We recently hit 50 and 100 followers, so that's pretty cool, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome, man. Congrats to that for the 5K for real.
Thank you.
That's an awesome thing. DS said, "Don't think, try." Yeah, absolutely, try. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Jamie said, "Great show, bros. Appreciate you, Jamie. Appreciate everybody that came out. DS, Jamie, Reese, Calvo. Who else? Let me try to miss anybody in here. Irish, One Nation, Mac, Caleb, Itty Bitty, Evan. I think that's it. Anybody else I'm missing? Sorry, but appreciate you guys. Smash that like, smash that subscribe for us. But
Yeah.
we out of here. I'll probably be back on tomorrow, so check us out tomorrow.